A Sonic Lite 168 kinda mutant pseudo teardrop-ish travel trailer thing just came in here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan, and I say none of those words in a derogatory fashion. This is a kind of a niche-y, sort of interesting in-betweener product. They're actually a little heavier than you would think. They are narrow body, single axle and whatnot. This comes in just under 3,200 pounds. It is super late model. It is very clean. Basically, the folks camped in it a couple times and went, yeah, we just need a bigger camper. So if you've got like that 4,000 plus tow package SUV and you're looking for a little singles or couples camping excursion, this would be a solid pickup for you. Now, if you've seen any of our used RV videos at Haylet RV, you know that if we see something, we say something, and I could only see one thing. There's a little blemish on the rear wall here where the folks backed into something, and they covered it up with some sealant. It was basically a crack in the fiberglass, not a full puncture penetration on the rear wall back here, but they didn't want it like progressing or getting worse. So if you don't care about this little, I don't know, spot, this little pimple, acne on the back of your camper right here, then guys, you are going to save thousands of dollars compared to a brand new one of these sitting on a lot somewhere. Now, other than that little blip on the back, she's about as factory fresh as you're gonna find. We've had a lot of really late model stuff come in on trade lately. It's nice to see really nice shape trades come in, but it kind of tells me that not every dealership is helping campers find their second RV the first time like we do here at Haylet RV. This floor plan, it reminds me, it's very similar to something like a 189 FBS Geo Pro by Rockwood, or 2109S or 192 Coachman Freedom Express, but it's not quite either. It's taller than a lot of other campers. One of the things they do in here is extra interior height. Case in point, even with my hat, if I can, you know, walk right under that air conditioner to give you a sense of how big it is in here. So your main living area does have nice headroom, and that does allow for some bigger overhead cabinetry. And I am a fan of that skylight up there letting in some extra light. That's just a nice way to not have to add a whole ton of LED lighting on this end. It's very nice for boondocking. You also see the taller walls allow for a bigger window behind that sofa. There's also, if I take a knee, they did a lot with a little here. And what I mean by that is, like, instead of blocking this off, and you could always lift the sofa to get to the storage, but they left it open, which the primary reason this manufacturer does things like this is cost reasons, but frankly, guys, it's also very effective. It's also an easy use of space. So, very clean, totally carpetless. There's, you know, I don't see anything in here that concerns me whatsoever. There is a little sliding privacy curtain here if someone is sleeping on the sofa. Now, being 7.5 wide, it does allow them to put a bigger mattress, a longer mattress in here, and still maintain a corner closet. So you do still have some hanging storage with a shelf above. You've got cross breeze bed windows, and those will go straight across your head, which is nice. And then a nice little detail, they included a handy little like phone charging station over here in the corner with double USB plugs and household plugs as well. If you choose to add a TV, as the previous owners had done, it would be set to wall mount right here. Now, if you look, they had installed a TV here. However, when they removed the TV, they were also kind enough to kind of go over and fill in those holes. You can see there was a TV there, but it's also easier now to know where to install a TV, and they didn't just leave gaping holes in the sidewall, which is nice. You know, little details like that go a long way. This is Bluetooth, this is DVD, does all kinds of good things for us. And if we take a look at the kitchen storage starting up here, you can see we've got this, you know, big full overhead cabinet space, and swinging down we've got a large cabinet on the left side here that could probably maybe double as like some extra dresser space. And then below, you can see that we've got a nice pair of full extension drawers, as well as maximum functional space they could possibly jam under that countertop. Now, the furnace below the sink all the way down there, that is occupying a little bit of what could be cabinet space, but tell me where else you could put a furnace. It's kind of a hiccup. In a small camper, things are all sharing space. You do have sealed edge thermal foil counters, which are nice around the sink here. And this is an interesting sink. It's Not as big as a 2-basin sink, but it's bigger than most 1-basin sinks. It's kind of, again, it's a sort of mutant in-betweener. I like that there's a little chunk of counter space on both sides, and this is another thermal foil piece of countertop right here functioning as your sink cover. And that stuff's pretty heavy duty, so you really can use that as decent space. Now, right when you walk in the door, obviously with no slide out, this is super traveling friendly, but right when you walk in the door, you've got like this huge shoe garage down there, so you can always cut the clutter and keep this thing cleaned up. It does have a smaller, what size are those? Roughly like 3.5 cubic foot fridge freezer. There is a freezer pocket in there with a, but this is a smart thing that they did right here, and it's easy to miss and overlook. Convection microwave oven, and guys, once again, if you look in here, it is, I mean, it's sparkling. It's like I don't know if they ever actually even use that right there. You do have a power awning on this, which is kind of handy. And as I back up here, one of the things I want to point out is a full-size air conditioner, full-size 13,500 BTU air. And again, that skylight letting in extra ambient light above. Now, starting up top, if we take a look, you see that you've got the extra cabinet space for extra storage overhead. And then coming down, we've got that fold-down sleeper sofa, but it's a little bit longer than most jackknife-style sofas. And since the back of it isn't insanely tufted like some of them are, it is a little more comfortable if you do have to sleep a guest or a grandkid, or, I don't know, maybe a big dog on something like that. Now, one thing I was very impressed with, this is a nicely executed bathroom. It's got some good eye appeal. You've got lots of leg room in front of that toilet. Nice shoulder room. I actually physically sat on the toilet to kind of size it up, as it were. The sink is basic, but the countertop, again, is upgraded. And I love that little pocket and shelf right there. It's not flashy and fancy and expensive, but it is effective. And that's a lot of what small campers need to be. They need to be effective. Now, that vaulted, taller ceiling, that north-south vault, is giving us extra headroom in here, and the bigger radius shower gives us the elbow room and the easy step-in convenience that I think a lot of folks like and appreciate. Now, if you're not really familiar with Venture RV, they're basically an offshoot of the KZ RV company. They wanted to get some more names out there, and they just came up with a whole new set of names basically on some similar products. They're not identical, but they're related. So, not the biggest awning in the world, but with the radius bend on this, if you notice, you couldn't put a bigger awning on it because it would cover that window next to the bedroom, and that wouldn't be any good. So they put what they could on it where they could. Now, again, very clean, very well kept. Ooh, little outside TV hookup. I missed that on my first walk through here. You can see the little preventative items like the mud dauber screens to keep the bugs from, choking out your furnace right here. Tires look good. A lot of rubber. No weather checking or anything. Granted, this camper's virtually new, so that doesn't surprise me. This is neat. Compression, or some people still call them slam latches, but these are technically compression latches. They basically do the same thing. And magnet holdbacks for easy one-hand operation. And this is nice. You've got a good chunk of pass-through storage capacity right here. This is something that's very valuable right here. Now, people with really small vehicles, you're going to want to be careful. If you go too nuts, just burying heavy cargo in the nose of that thing, you actually could maybe run into a tongue or hitch weight issue, but you're going to have to really go nuts doing that. Now, all of the tail and marker lights are LED, which is nice. You don't always find that in small campers like this one right here. Again, we are narrow body for that easy towability. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that the shape of the camper, doesn't that help with aerodynamics? Guys, every one of these things are a rolling brick. I don't care if it has a nice sweep nose like this, a bullet nose like that, or a blunt nose like that. It does not make a hill of beans worth of difference. They are a rolling brick, every one of them. What is helping you for towability is the smooth skin by reducing wind drag because of a reduced surface area. That is a legitimate item that you can scientifically measure, basically. Power tongue jack does the heavy lifting for you, so hitching and unhitching is very, very simple here. Doesn't have any kind of enclosed underbelly or super duper Arctic package or whatever people want to call it nowadays. I do like the galvanized steel wheel wells, though. God forbid you have some kind of like debris problem on the road. You catch, because a lot of a lot of flat tires, they're not necessarily due to owner fault. Although, actually, now that I say that, the majority of flat tires are actually due to improper tire inflation or driving too quickly. But anyway, God forbid you have a spare or a flat tire. That thing is going to give you a little bit more time to get this thing everything brought down to speed. And this is something I didn't expect to see back here, is separate cable and satellite hookups, which is a nice little touch and makes life a lot simpler and easier for satellite users. Simple side mount solar prep for one of these solar suitcase systems, black tank flush, outside utility shower with hot and cold. We already looked at the little blemish on the back. The spare tire does not look like it's ever seen the light of day. The spare tire cover has certainly been wind whipped. This thing has seen some road use, but none of it abuse. You know, it's been very nicely well kept. The double step makes coming and going easy, and it's not the biggest entry handle, but it's long enough that I think it is still pretty easy to get a hold of. And obviously, overall, I haven't looked up the hard specs on this, but I bet this thing isn't much more, if 20 feet tip to tail. So it is a nice, short, easy towing length. And there you have it. Now, we've got all kinds of different tiny campers here at Haylett RV, whether it's this one or any of the new RV varieties that we carry, like from the Coachman Apex, the Rockwood Geo Pros and Minis and all kinds of stuff, some of your smaller Winnebagos. We do a lot of business in the small camper segment. So if you take a look at this one, you like it, but it's sold out, we've got other things that are similar to it. Or, hey, give us a call, because we only do everything else: hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. And we'll get you camping. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.